Alright, happy Friday. Headed into the weekend with a review of one of the best games on the Super Nintendo, Super Castlevania IV. Score for this game, 9.1 out of 10. That's 3 9 out of 10 reviews in a row. And 4 overall for the year. 4 9 out of 10 games for the year. Off the top of my head, I don't think this was a launch title for the Super Nintendo, but I want to say it was a first generation title since it was made in '91. That's when the Super Nintendo was released in America. This game reminds me of Strider on the Sega Genesis. How so? When Strider came out, it really showcased what the Sega Genesis could do. The Super Nintendo wasn't as big a jump over the Genesis as the Genesis was over the NES, but you could clearly see the Super Nintendo had some advantages over the Sega Genesis with this game. So Strider was a technical showcase, and this game was a technical showcase to what the Super Nintendo could do. The music, very orchestra-like. Orchestratal-like. Is that a word? Orchestratal. Graphics are very smooth. Strider was a fast game. This game is not fast like Strider, but it's very refined. Strider was rough around the edges. It was just a fast game. This one's very refined. Not as action-packed as Strider. Check out my Strider review. I reviewed that a couple of weeks ago. Gave it a 9 out of 10. I'm giving this a 9.1 out of 10. This is a better game. This is one of my favorite video game songs of all time, and there's many renditions of it. When you listen to it, like I said, Super Nintendo has a very orchestra-like feel to their sound. That being said, though, I think the Sega Genesis rendition of this song is better, and I think Castlevania Bloodlines is a better game. I think Dracula X is a better game than Super Castlevania IV, but I'll get to that later. I'll review Dracula X and Bloodlines later. Today's going to Castlevania 4, so let's go ahead and play it. Great song, I love this song. Yeah, very smooth. Super Nintendo is very refined compared to the Genesis. That's the best way I could explain it. I mean, there are cases where Sega Genesis had really good graphics too, but for the most part, they couldn't match the refinement of Super Nintendo. So, new elements to this game. You could swing your whip around. See, you could swing around. That's cool. You could whip up. You could whip diagonal. You could whip down diagonal. See, so very good gameplay to this game. And then the dangling whip comes in handy. See, you could kill the guys below you. It's weak, but you could do it. So why not a higher score if this game is so good? Why a 9.1 out of 10, not higher? I actually don't like the music too much in the other levels. This is the best song of the game. It comes early, which is cool, but the other songs are a letdown, I think. In my opinion, I don't like the other songs as much as this one. Castlevania Bloodlines on the Genesis had good songs throughout the game. Not saying the songs in this game are bad, they're just not great. Here's a new element too. They sound good though, but it's nothing I would download on my MP3 player. This song is on my MP3 player. The other songs in this game isn't. That's a new element to swinging. I don't know if I said that already, but that's cool. Very good tune, man. I love this tune. Oh, this game's not that hard either. It's a very low action, if you could tell. But a first generation title, it was showcasing what the Super Nintendo could do. If I'm not talking a lot, it's because I'm just listening to the music. It's so good. And then multiple scrolling backgrounds, that's really cool. Got hit there. You only use 3 buttons. Y is attack, B is the jump, and the shoulder button, right shoulder button's throw items. But yeah, they didn't try to reinvent the wheel with this game. I said this game's easy and I'm getting my ass kicked. I'm gonna die. I think I got too confident. There should be a healing meat in the wall soon. There it is. Oh, it's a heart. Man, I can't believe I'm gonna die. I got careless. See, that comes in handy. The ability to just, I mean, it looks dumb just holding your whip down like that, but it does kill flying enemies really well. And it can kill things below you. I like that a lot. I don't know why Bloodlines didn't adopt that. Bloodlines came out later. Let's take advantage of the stop clock. And the fact you could swing your whip around makes flying enemies less of a threat in this game, which is good. There we go. I shouldn't die now. I should have kept the stopwatch. See, you could just hold your whip out like that, take out flying enemies. It takes a while, but it works. Makes the game not as hard as like a Castlevania 3 on the NES, but I just fell through that. Forgot about that. Forgot about that trap. Don't jump on those. See this thing I'm standing on right now? Don't jump on it. Forgot about that. Oh, I lost all my hearts too. I didn't need that healing. See? Less of a threat now, because you can hold the whip out. At least the song restarted. That's always good. Such a good song. See, I jumped on that. Forgot about it. It's a trap. It's one of those games you, I mean, a 16-bit era. That's what the games were. Trial and error. You tell yourself, oh, I can't jump on those, so just got careless for a second. Boss. The boss song's okay. Nothing epic. Easy boss. Or like a skeleton horse. Yeah, one more time. That's it. Easy boss. Good game. Great game. It's a neighbor's dog's bark. Again, that Super Nintendo is they're trying to show off their scaling effects here, zooming in a little bit. Of course, I mean it's new. It was new hardware at the time. You got to show off a little bit. See, like this song. I won't talk so you can listen to it. Cool little transparency effect with that leaf guy. Yeah, see, this song's good. I mean, it sounds great, but it's not a song I would download. See, that swinging whip comes in handy. It's all opinion, though. I mean, if you love this song, good for you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just not feeling it. What are those, like, little armadillos? Strange enemy choice. Bats and armadillos. Animals tend to avoid people. That was weak. Oh yeah, Simon's not very athletic. He was never athletic. They got to get the jumping right. But this game has perfect controls. You can't blame the controls when you die. If you die, it's your fault. See, this song's okay. It's just I'm not feeling it, but yeah, the very orchestra-like sound. See, that's a cool transparency-like effect on that leaf man. Oh, very deep layers in the graphics too, with the little forest here. That's cool. I like that. So we're gonna run away. And then there's frogs in this stage, and the frogs are a threat. What the heck? Where's the frogs? Probably go 20 minutes on this review. It's a good game. It's a good game. We'll play it. See, there's a frog. Damn frog. And they're actually a threat. They're actually hard to beat because they're a little enemy. So they're harder to hit. Look at that. Oh my god, a frog's gonna kill me right now. I'm about to die, actually. You notice the skeletons are not much of a threat, but the frog just hit me. I don't want to get killed by a bird now. Yeah, man, I'm just doing fine on the platforming. The boomerangs, cross boomerang's the best weapon in this game, I think. Alright. Very good item placement. I actually needed that healing. This is fundamentals, man. This is the fundamentals of just making a great game design. I was like bashing on the skeletons and I just got killed by one. Okay, I'm just gonna run through this now. Yeah, maybe I need to stop there. I'm trying to get through this fast right now. Look at that, those birds just took half of my power away. I'll hold the stopwatch. Frog! Got him this time. What a wimp, man, that little frog is a threat. Frog! Let me run through this and have the stopwatch. Yeah, very good game design. And see, I just want to get through this quick so I can get to the next section and stopwatch just help me. Oh, come on. I'm gonna die again. I'm talking too much trash. Lesson of the day, take your time. This game was designed for you to succeed, but you gotta take your time. Use all your abilities. I just died again. Okay. I'm gonna take my time this time. Take my time this time. Okay. I'm gonna kill everything. Don't run from the birds. Why are the birds and bats and frogs all... Why are they so dangerous? It's like the little animals in this game are so dangerous. I don't want to attack little animals. What does the Castlevania makers have against little animals? Frog. Okay, I'm getting it this time. This is unacceptable playing. I'm just trying to, you know, blow through the game. Nah, you gotta take your time. That's the lesson. This game was designed a certain way. You have to play it, you have to use your abilities to get through it. So right now, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use the abilities that were awarded to me to play this game properly and not talk trash, because I've been getting taken out like so. I've been careless. I'm being careless right now. That's not good. There, see now everything's going better because I'm taking my time. I'm using my abilities that were granted to me by the game developers. I'm gonna fight Medusa right now. Look at this. She's less of a threat than those little frogs and bats. Look at that. That's sad. Oh, the boss too. They put her in the middle of the level for some reason. Okay, this is one of those parts where you could die if you're not precise. You have to be precise on this part. See, look at that big guy. He should be more of a threat than the bats. He's not a threat at all. And then I got hit right when I said that. So the water's like pushing me backwards. then it's gonna push me forwards, and I have to jump this little spike part coming up. Very nice graphics. This game looks good. Okay. There you go. Damn, I didn't look like I was gonna make that jump. So this game's a lot of platforming. A decent amount of action, but nothing too fast-paced. It's just more about precision in this game versus a lot of enemies at once. It's more precision than anything else. See, they're not like hammering you with enemies. You just gotta take your time. As demonstrated earlier, if you kind of like just try to run through the game, you're gonna die. You can't, you know, you gotta clear the level out. This game's fun. Yeah, it's definitely a 9 caliber game. More zooming effect to show off. Yeah, we'll play a little of this and end the review. See, like this song's good. But you know, it's more like if you have insomnia and you want soothing music. But look at the graphics. Multiple layers, scrolling parallax. And then this guy's cool. But then the Super Nintendo slows down. Look at that, on the slow motion. Super Nintendo always had a very slow, weak processor. Genesis was always faster than the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo had a more refined look, more orchestra-like soundtracks. Yeah, see, this song sounds good, but I don't know, it's more like sleeping music. I like the Mudman. I want to fight more. Listen to that. Okay, watch. Here's where Super Nintendo chugs. Look, I'm in slow motion. That's a cool enemy though, I like that. Rockman, Mudman, whatever it is. So yeah, this is basic platforming. Don't fall into spikes, you die. Okay, I think this should be a 20-minute review by now. Hey, it's Super Castlevania IV, and I don't do many Super Nintendo reviews. So, this is to make up for my lack of Super Nintendo reviews. So, if you happen to like Super Nintendo and Super Castlevania IV, today's your lucky day. It's a longer review here. Appreciate the Super Nintendo though. I really don't do many Super Nintendo reviews, so we're appreciating what the Super Nintendo was capable of. Refined gameplay or refined graphics, very orchestrative music. Good stuff. Good. That's a good place to end the review. I just died again. Well, yeah, there's a password system in this game too, but look at those graphics. Listen to this music. Very refined. I said refined a million times already, but hey, it's a good way to explain the Super Nintendo. Very crisp. Very crisp. I always said this is my favorite analogy for Super Nintendo versus the Genesis. It's like Corvette versus Porsche. The Genesis is like a Corvette. It's very raw, very fast. Super Nintendo's like a Porsche, very refined. Very refined. And it's a matter of preference. I'm not saying the Corvette's better, I'm not saying the Porsche's better. I'm not saying Super Nintendo's better, and I'm not saying the Genesis is better. It's a matter of preference. My preference is Corvettes and the Genesis. Some people like Porsches and Super Nintendo. It's life. Not everyone's the same. So that's Super Castlevania IV, 9.1 out of 10. I will review Dracula X on this system, which is a better game than this. And I will review Castlevania Bloodlines, which is a better game than this. So what does that tell you? There's some really good Castlevania games for the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. Well, only one on the Genesis, and Super Nintendo got 2 really good Castlevania games. Alright everyone, happy Friday. This is for you Super Nintendo fans who say, man, this guy doesn't review Super Nintendo enough. You just got yourself a 20-minute review. Have a great weekend, everyone.